They called her worthless, until the rancher paid gold for the girl no one wanted. Anna was hauling coal toward the weighing station when she heard a stranger's voice. "Excuse me, miss." She turned. He was tall, broad-shouldered, maybe 35, with a weathered face that held more kindness than she'd seen in a long time. Definitely not from Ironwood. "I'm looking for a doctor," he said, removing his hat. "Someone who treats consumption." "Are you new in town?" Anna asked, wiping coal dust from her hands. "I'm Gabriel Hayes. From Redemption Falls." He smiled slightly. "My mother's ill. I was told there might be a doctor here." "Dr. Henderson. Elm Street, 3 blocks toward the square. Green shutters." "Thank you, miss." "Anna." The voice cracked across the yard like a gunshot. Anna's stomach dropped. Her father stumbled toward them, drunk, bottle in hand. "What do you think you're doing?" He grabbed her arm, fingers digging into her flesh. "Standing here talking instead of working?" "Papa, I was just..." "Useless." He shoved her backward. She caught herself against the coal cart. "Your mother died bringing you into this world, and you haven't been worth a damn since." Heat flooded Anna's face. She could feel Gabriel watching. "I'm sorry, Papa." She grabbed the cart and pulled away, her father's voice following her. "Can't even read or write, and still you think you're good for anything." The memory hit her sharp and sudden. 10 years old. Sitting in the schoolhouse, book open in her hands. Miss Caroline smiling. "Wonderful, Anna. You read that beautifully." Anna's chest swelled with pride. She loved books. Then the door slamming. Her father, drunk and furious, ripping the book away. "Girls don't need books. That's for boys. You'll work like everyone else." He dragged her out by the arm and she never went back. The rest of the afternoon dragged on. Anna hauled coal until her hands bled through the rags she'd wrapped around them. By sunset, Anna's body ached. She slipped away to the old stone wall where a scraggly brown dog waited, tail wagging. "Hello, Scout," Anna whispered. She'd been feeding him for months, ever since she found him limping with a broken paw. The paw had healed, but Scout stayed. The only creature in Ironwood who seemed happy to see her. She sank beside him and broke a crust of bread in half. Scout devoured his. Anna just stared at hers. "Papa's right, Scout." Her voice cracked. "I am worthless." Tears slipped down her cheeks through the coal dust. "Everything I touch, I ruin. I can't even read past simple words. I'm stupid. I should have died instead of my mother." Scout whined and pressed his head against her leg. Anna wrapped her arms around him, burying her face in his fur. She didn't hear the footsteps until a voice spoke softly. "Miss Anna?" She jerked upright. Gabriel stood nearby, hat in his hands. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to." "I wanted to thank you," he said quietly. "I found the doctor." Anna nodded, face burning. "Is there a place to stay in town?" "Mrs. Fletcher's. Main Street. White house with the blue door." "Thank you." Gabriel looked at her for a long moment. At her bleeding hands. At the tears she couldn't hide. At Scout pressed against her side like a guardian. "Your father," he began. "He's fine," Anna said quickly. "He just drinks sometimes." "It's nothing." "It's not nothing." Anna looked up, startled by the steel in his voice. Gabriel held her gaze, then nodded once and turned away. Anna watched him go. Gabriel found the boarding house easily. He paid for a room, washed the road dust from his face, and asked Mrs. Fletcher where a man might get a drink. "The Silver Dollar Tavern," she said, eyeing him. "But it's not a nice place, Mr. Hayes." "I'm not looking for nice." That night, Gabriel found the Silver Dollar Tavern. Dark, loud, thick with smoke and cheap whiskey. He ordered a drink and didn't touch it. Anna's father sat in the corner, drunk, arguing with 2 rough men. Anna stood beside them, hand on her father's shoulder. "Papa, please. You need to come home." "Get off me." The man with the scar grabbed her father's collar. "He's not going anywhere until he pays." "I don't have it," Anna's father slurred. I need more time. You've had time, Scarface said. You owe us $60. You pay or we take it out of your hide. Her father turned on Anna. This is your fault. If I didn't have to feed you. Gabriel stood and crossed the room. Excuse me, he said, his voice cutting through the noise. All three men looked up. Anna took a step back, pale. Gabriel placed a small leather pouch on the table. It landed with a heavy clink. Gold, Gabriel said. Enough to pay his debts. And more. Anna's father stared at the pouch, then at Gabriel. Why would you give me this? Gabriel's eyes flicked to Anna, then back. Because you're going to stop being cruel to your daughter. Her father laughed, sharp, bitter. That's what this is about? The girl? Her name is Anna. I know her damn name. He reached for the pouch. Gabriel's hand covered it. You take this gold, you leave her alone. Her father pushed it back. I don't take charity. You want to give me gold? You take her. Anna's breath caught. She looked at her father, waiting for him to laugh, to say he was joking. He didn't. Gabriel went very still. That's not what I meant. No, I insist. The man's voice rose. You want to save her so badly? Save her. She's too much. Can't read. You're getting a bad deal, but she's yours if you want her. Anna felt the floor tilt beneath her. Her father was selling her. In front of everyone. She cost me everything, her father said. Her mother's life. My happiness. Every time I look at her, I see what I lost. Gabriel looked at Anna. At the devastation on her face. At the way she was trying not to cry. He thought of her crying into Scout's fur. Of her bleeding hands. Of the way she'd said, I should have died instead of her. He placed the pouch back on the table. Deal. Anna's father grabbed the pouch and didn't look at her once. Just counted the coins with shaking, greedy hands. Gabriel walked to Anna. She was frozen, staring at her father. Come with me, Gabriel said quietly. Anna didn't move. Anna, Gabriel said, gentle but firm. Come with me. She turned and walked out of the tavern on legs that didn't feel like her own. Outside, cold air slapped her face. She looked around wildly. Scout, she whispered. She ran through the darkening streets, calling his name. Gabriel followed at a distance, giving her space. She searched every alley, every doorway, every place the dog liked to sleep. Scout was gone. Anna sank against a wall, arms wrapped around herself. She had nothing. No father. No dog. No home. Just a stranger who'd paid gold for her. Gabriel approached slowly and crouched in front of her. I have a wagon, he said quietly. And a ranch 2 days from here. You'll be safe there. Anna looked up at him, tears streaming down her face. Why? She whispered. Gabriel met her eyes. Because no one deserves to be treated the way he treats you. The wagon ride took 2 days. Anna sat on the hard bench beside Gabriel, her body rigid, her hands folded tightly in her lap. He didn't speak much except to tell her when they'd stop to water the horses or make camp for the night. She was grateful for the silence. It gave her time to think what he wanted from her. He'd paid good gold. Men didn't pay that kind of money for nothing. Her father's words echoed in her head. Worthless. She stared at the horizon and tried not to cry. The ranch appeared on the afternoon of the second day, nestled in a valley with rolling hills in every direction. Cattle grazed in distant pastures. The house was solid timber with a stone chimney. Everything looked cared for. Gabriel brought the wagon to a stop and climbed down. He came around to her side and offered his hand. Anna took it, her legs stiff from sitting so long. Come inside, he said quietly. The house was warm. A fire burned low in the hearth. Gabriel led her to a door and opened it. This is your room. Anna stepped inside. A narrow bed with a quilt. A washstand. A window looking out toward the hills. The lock is on the inside, Gabriel said, pointing. You can lock it. I won't come in unless you open it. Anna stared at the bolt. At this simple piece of iron that meant she could keep him out. Keep everyone out. I'll leave you to rest, Gabriel said. He stepped back into the hallway and closed the door. Anna stood frozen for a moment. Then she crossed to the door and slid the bolt home. The click was loud. She sank onto the bed. And she broke. The sobs came hard and violent, tearing out of her chest. She pressed her face into the quilt to muffle them. Her father's face. The way he'd sold her without hesitating. The gold coins in his shaking hands. Scout's absence. She cried until her throat was raw and her eyes burned. When she finally stopped, the room had grown dark. She could hear Gabriel moving around in the kitchen. Anna washed her face and stepped out of the room. Gabriel was setting 2 bowls on the table. He looked up when she appeared. Sit, he said gently. You need to eat. Anna moved toward the table and pulled out a chair. Gabriel placed a bowl of stew in front of her and sat across from her. Anna picked up her spoon. She ate quickly, half standing, ready to move if he told her to. You don't have to rush, Gabriel said quietly. No one's going to take it from you. Anna's hand stopped mid-motion. She looked at him. His expression was calm. She sat back down fully and made herself eat slower. After they finished, Gabriel said, There's someone I need you to meet. He led her down a short hallway to a closed door. He knocked softly, then opened it. The room was dim, lit by a single lamp. A woman lay in the bed, thin, pale, her breathing labored. She turned her head when they entered, her eyes sunken but alert. Gabriel crossed to the bed and knelt beside it. He took a cloth from the basin and wrung it out gently, then wiped his mother's face with tenderness. Mama, Gabriel said softly. This is Anna. She'll be staying with us. Margaret's eyes found Anna. She tried to speak, but a cough overtook her, deep, wet, painful. Gabriel helped her sit up, one arm supporting her back, the other holding a rag to her mouth. When it finally subsided, he eased her back onto the pillows. Rest now, Mama, he whispered, smoothing her hair. He held her hand until her breathing evened out. Anna stood in the doorway watching. She had never seen a man be gentle. Didn't know they could be. Didn't know tenderness existed in hands that large and strong. Maybe she thought, maybe a man could be kind. Over the next few days, Anna stayed in her room mostly, venturing out only for meals. But she watched Gabriel care for his mother with a patience that seemed endless. He woke early to check on her, brought her water, read to her from books, changed her sheets, talked to her about the weather, the cattle, memories from his childhood. And every time, his voice was soft. His hands were gentle. On the 4th morning, Gabriel brought her breakfast. He noticed her hands, still raw and rope-burned from the coal yard. He returned with a small tin. For your hands, he said. It'll help them heal. Anna stared at the tin. Thank you. You're safe here. You can heal. Gabriel said. Anna looked up at him. What do you want from me? Gabriel met her eyes. Nothing. You don't owe me anything, Anna. Then why did you? Because you deserve respect and kindness. Anna's throat tightened. She looked away. Gabriel left her alone. But she kept watching. She watched him hold his mother's hand when she cried from pain. Watched him clean blood from her mouth. Watched him speak to her like she was precious even though she was dying. On the 7th day, Anna found Gabriel in Margaret's room, struggling to help her drink. Margaret kept turning her head away, too weak to manage. Anna stepped into the doorway. Please, let me help. Gabriel looked up, surprised. You don't have to. I know, Anna said, but I want to. Please. Gabriel hesitated, then nodded. He handed her the cup. Anna sat beside the bed and leaned close. Miss Margaret. Just a little. Please try. Something in her voice made Margaret turn her head. Anna brought the cup to her lips. Margaret took a small sip. Then another. When the cup was empty, Anna set it aside. Margaret's hand moved slightly on the blanket. Anna took it gently. Gabriel watched from across the room. You're good at this. Anna looked down at their hands. I want to learn. Will you teach me? Gabriel's expression softened. All right. Over the next week, Gabriel taught her everything. How to turn Margaret without hurting her. How to read her needs when she was too weak to speak. He showed her the medicines, what each was for, how much to give, when. Anna absorbed it all. And Gabriel realized that she was a natural, gentle, affectionate in a way that made Margaret's eyes brighten. Margaret responded to Anna immediately, smiled when she entered, reached for her hand, rested easier when Anna was near. And Anna felt something she'd never felt before. She felt like she mattered. The weeks that followed Margaret's welcoming of Anna transformed the ranch in ways Gabriel hadn't expected. Anna spent her days in Margaret's room, and slowly, the dying woman began to bloom. Anna bathed her gently, brushed her thin gray hair until it shone, and read to her, haltingly at first, stumbling over words she didn't know. Gabriel would sit nearby and help, pointing to letters, sounding out syllables. Anna absorbed it all like she'd been starving for it her whole life. And she sang soft, wordless melodies while she worked. Margaret would close her eyes and smile, the lines of pain easing from her face. You have your mother's voice, Margaret said one afternoon, her words barely a whisper. Anna's hands stilled on the hairbrush. You think so? I know so. Margaret reached up and touched Anna's cheek. She would be so proud of you. Anna's eyes filled with tears. In the evenings, when Margaret's pain eased enough for her to talk, she told stories. Gabriel would sit on the floor near the bed, and Anna would join him, and they'd listen like children. Margaret told them about growing up on the frontier, about her father's wagon breaking down in a storm and her mother delivering a baby by candlelight. She told them about meeting Gabriel's father at a barn dance, how he'd been too shy to ask her to dance until she'd grabbed his hand and pulled him onto the floor herself. He was terrified, Margaret said, her eyes bright with memory. Stepped on my feet 3 times. But I knew. Right then I knew. Gabriel glanced at Anna. She was smiling, her eyes soft. Their gazes met for a moment before they both looked away. Margaret told them about their wedding day, about building the ranch from nothing, about Gabriel's father's death in a riding accident when Gabriel was just 12. Her voice grew sad when she spoke of William, Gabriel's older brother, who'd left the ranch to marry a wealthy woman from back east. Catherine's family never thought I was good enough, Margaret said quietly. Called me low class. Common. William stopped visiting after that. It's been 2 years since I've seen him. Anna reached for Margaret's hand. You're not common. You're extraordinary. Margaret squeezed her fingers. So are you, child. Anna told her own stories then. About her father's cruelty. About being pulled from school at 10 years old because girls didn't need books. About the years of believing she'd killed her mother just by being born. No, Margaret said, her voice fierce despite its weakness. No, Anna. Childbirth took your mother. That's not your fault. That's not. She started coughing, deep and wet. Gabriel helped her sit up while Anna held the cloth to her mouth. When the fit passed, Margaret gripped Anna's wrist. You were wanted, Margaret whispered. I know you were. A mother knows. How can you be sure? Because I wanted a daughter my whole life. Margaret's eyes were bright with tears. And now I have you. Anna's face crumpled. Can I call you Mama? Please, Margaret breathed. It would be my honor. Anna laid her head on Margaret's shoulder and wept. Gabriel watched them, his throat tight. In the evenings, after Margaret fell asleep, Gabriel taught Anna to read. They'd sit at the kitchen table with a lamp between them, and he'd show her letters, words, sentences. She was hungry for it, desperate to learn what had been stolen from her. One night, Gabriel opened a book and pointed to a word. This one, he said. Can you sound it out? Anna leaned closer, her brow furrowed in concentration. B. Bless. I don't know. Blessing, Gabriel said softly. Anna repeated it. Blessing. Their hands were close on the page. Gabriel's finger brushed hers as he turned it. They both froze. Anna looked up. Gabriel was already looking at her. For a moment, neither of them moved. Then Anna pulled her hand back and Gabriel cleared his throat and they went back to the lesson like nothing had happened. But something had. They worked side by side every day after that. Cooking meals together. Washing dishes. Tending Margaret. Feeding the cattle. Their hands would brush passing a bowl or a tool, and they'd both pretend not to notice. Gabriel would watch Anna braid Margaret's hair, her fingers gentle and sure. Anna would watch Gabriel chop wood outside the window, his strength used for care rather than cruelty. Margaret noticed. She'd smile when she caught them looking at each other. One afternoon, when Gabriel stepped out to check the cattle, she squeezed Anna's hand. "He's a good man," Margaret said. Anna's cheeks flushed. "I know. He looks at you the way his father looked at me." Anna didn't know what to say to that. That night, Margaret called Gabriel to her bedside after Anna had gone to bed. "That girl is a gift from God," Margaret said, her voice weak but certain. "Don't let her go." Gabriel nodded. "I won't, Mama." A week later, Anna woke to barking. She sat up, her heart pounding. She knew that bark. She threw off the blankets and ran to the window. Scout was in the yard, jumping and spinning in circles. Anna didn't remember opening the door or running outside. She just found herself on her knees in the dirt with Scout's paws on her shoulders, his tongue on her face, his whole body wiggling with joy. "Scout," she sobbed. "Scout, oh Scout." "I went back to Ironwood." Gabriel's voice came from behind her. Anna turned. He was standing near the barn, his hat in his hands. "I found him hiding near the coal yard. Took me 3 days to get him to trust me. But he remembered your smell." Anna couldn't speak. Couldn't find the words for what she was feeling. Gabriel shifted his weight. "You missed him." I thought, "I could fix that." Anna stood on shaking legs and crossed the yard. She looked up at Gabriel, this man who'd paid gold for her freedom, who'd taught her to read, who'd gone back to the place that had broken her just to bring back her dog. "Thank you," she whispered. Gabriel's expression softened. "You're welcome." Scout barked and pushed between them, and they both laughed, and for the first time since her mother died, Anna felt something she thought she'd never feel again. She felt like she was home. Margaret took a turn 3 weeks later. The fever came on suddenly, spiking so high that her skin burned to the touch. She coughed blood into rags that Anna changed every hour. She called out for people who'd been dead for years, her mother, her husband, a sister who'd died in childhood. Anna and Gabriel took turns sitting with her through the nights. They were both exhausted, hollow-eyed, watching someone they loved slip away and being powerless to stop it. It was during one of these vigils that the visitors arrived. Anna was spooning broth into Margaret's mouth when she heard the sound of a wagon outside. Gabriel had gone to the barn to check on a mare that was due to foal. Anna set down the bowl and went to the window. 2 people were climbing down from an expensive-looking carriage. A man in his 40s, well-dressed and cold-faced. A woman beside him, sharp-featured and draped in silk that had no business being on a ranch. Anna didn't know who they were, but she knew they meant trouble. The door opened without a knock. The couple walked in like they owned the place. The woman's eyes swept the room and landed on Anna standing in the doorway to Margaret's room. Her lip curled. "What is this?" She turned to the man. "William, where did Gabriel find this creature?" So this was William, Gabriel's brother. Did he pull her from the coal mines? Catherine continued, her voice dripping with disdain. William stepped past Anna into Margaret's room. Anna moved to block him, but he shouldered past her. "Mother," William said, looking down at Margaret's wasted form. "We've come to see you." Margaret's eyes opened briefly, unfocused. She didn't seem to recognize him. William turned to Anna. "You out? We're bringing a proper nurse. Someone educated. Someone who knows what they're doing." "I know what I'm doing," Anna said quietly. Catherine laughed. You probably can't even read the medicine bottles. Anna's face burned. She could read them now. But Catherine's words still hit like a slap. This girl is not fit to touch our mother, William said. She's filthy. Ignorant. Obese. Gabriel must have lost his mind bringing her here. The door slammed open. Gabriel stood in the doorway, his face darker than Anna had ever seen it. Get out, he said, his voice deadly quiet. This is our house too, William said. Father left us. Get out. Gabriel roared. The room went silent. Even Margaret seemed to still in her bed. Gabriel crossed the room and grabbed William by the collar and dragged him toward the door. William struggled, but Gabriel was younger, stronger, and furious. He shoved William out onto the porch. Catherine scrambled after him. You abandoned her, Gabriel shouted, his voice breaking. For years. You called her low class. You ignored her. You let her die alone. And Anna. He pointed back toward the house where Anna stood frozen in the doorway. Anna gave her more love in 3 months than you gave in 20 years. Gabriel, William started. You don't get to show up now and judge her. You don't get to question me. She is worth 1,000 of you. Now get off my land. William and Catherine climbed back into their carriage, their faces twisted with fury. Gabriel stood on the porch until they disappeared from sight. When he came back inside, Anna was kneeling beside Margaret's bed, trembling. Gabriel knelt beside her. I'm sorry, he said quietly. I should have warned you they might come. You defended me, Anna whispered. Of course I did. Anna looked at him. No one's ever done that before. Gabriel reached out and gently wiped a tear from her cheek. I always will. That night, Margaret rallied. It was brief, the last surge before death. Margaret called them both to her bedside. She took Anna's hand in one of hers and Gabriel's in the other. Margaret turned her eyes to Anna. You're not worthless. You're my greatest blessing. She reached up with shaking hands and unpinned the shawl she was wearing, the one she'd worn for years, since her wedding day. She placed it around Anna's shoulders. Wear this, Margaret breathed. Remember me. Remember you are loved. Anna was sobbing now, clutching the shawl. I will, Mama. I will. Margaret smiled. She took one more breath. Then she was still. Anna buried her face in Gabriel's shoulder and wept. He held her tightly, his own tears falling into her hair. Thank you, Anna whispered to Margaret's still form. Thank you for choosing me. The funeral was 2 days later. William and Catherine came, standing apart from everyone else, their faces cold. The townspeople whispered when they saw Anna at the graveside, wearing Margaret's shawl, weeping like a daughter. When the minister finished, Gabriel stepped forward. His voice carried across the cemetery. This woman, he said, gesturing to Anna, gave my mother dignity, comfort, and love in her final days. She is family. She is my mother's daughter. Anyone who disrespects her disrespects my mother's memory. He looked directly at William and Catherine. Neither of them said a word. Gabriel took Anna's hand and led her away from the grave. She leaned against him, exhausted, grief-stricken, but no longer alone. They had each other. And Margaret's love, woven into every thread of the shawl around Anna's shoulders. 3 weeks after the funeral, Anna packed her bag. It didn't take long. She still didn't have much. Just the clothes Gabriel had given her, the shawl, and the few things she'd accumulated. Scout lay on the floor watching her, his head on his paws, his eyes sad. I know, Anna said to him quietly, but I can't stay. He doesn't need me anymore. She heard footsteps in the hallway and quickly wiped her eyes. Gabriel appeared in the doorway. He saw the bag. His face went very still. Where are you going? Anna kept her eyes on the bag. I don't know yet. Maybe back to Ironwood. Find work at a boarding house. Or maybe west. I hear there's work in. Anna. Look at me. She looked up. His expression was pained. Your mother is gone, Anna said, her voice breaking. I was here to care for her. That's done now. I'm not needed anymore. Gabriel crossed the room in 2 strides. He took her hands in his. What if I need you? Anna stared at him. What? My mother saw something I was too stubborn to see, Gabriel said, his voice rough. You didn't just care for her, Anna. You brought life back to this house. To me. Your strength. Your gentleness. Your heart. He stopped, searching for words. I didn't bring you here just to nurse her. I brought you here because I couldn't leave you in that hell. And now I can't imagine this place without you. Anna shook her head. Your brother's family hates me. The town thinks I'm worthless. I can barely read. I'm not educated. I'm not fit for. Don't say that. Gabriel's voice was fierce now. Don't ever say that again. You're exactly who I want. Who I choose. Anna's breath caught. Gabriel. My mother chose you as her daughter, Gabriel said. I'm choosing you as my wife. Will you marry me, Anna? The words hung in the air. Anna's mind was reeling. Marriage. He was asking her to marry him. I can't. A knock on the door interrupted her. Gabriel frowned and went to answer it. A man stood on the porch holding a small package. Delivery for Miss Anna Miller, he said. Gabriel took it and brought it back inside. Anna recognized the handwriting on the wrapping. Her father's. He died 2 weeks ago, the man called from the porch. Drank himself to death. Town sent along his effects. Gabriel closed the door. He looked at Anna. Do you want me to open it? Anna nodded, not trusting her voice. Inside was a small, worn diary. Anna's hands shook as she took it. She opened it to the first page. There was only one entry, written in her mother's careful hand. I can't read it all, Anna whispered. The words are too hard. I'll help you, Gabriel said gently. They sat at the kitchen table together. Gabriel lit a lamp and pulled it close. He opened the diary and began to read aloud. Tomorrow I meet my daughter. I'm so frightened, but so full of hope. Anna's eyes filled with tears. Gabriel continued, his voice soft. If I don't survive, I want her to know she was wanted. She was loved. She was not a mistake. He turned the page. Anna gasped. There was a poem written in her mother's hand. Gabriel read it slowly, his voice breaking. Little one, not yet born, if I don't survive the dawn, know this truth, hold it near. You were wanted, you were dear. You are not a burden, not a mistake, you are the gift my heart did make. Don't let cruel words define your worth, you are blessed from the day of birth. You are loved before we meet, you make my life complete. If I'm gone, don't bear the blame, you are my joy, my sweetest name. Remember, child, you are enough, even when the world is rough. You are mine, you are whole, you are my heart, you are my soul. Gabriel pointed to the last word. Can you read this? Anna leaned closer, sounding it out through her tears. Blessing. Yes, Gabriel said, his own eyes wet. Blessing. That's what you are. Your mother knew it. My mother knew it. And I know it. Anna looked at him. At this man who'd paid gold for her freedom. Who'd taught her to read. Who'd brought her dog back. Who'd defended her against his own brother. Who'd held her while she grieved. Yes, she whispered. I'll marry you. They were married a week later in a simple ceremony. Anna wore Margaret's shawl. Scouts sat at her feet. William and Catherine watched from a distance, their faces tight with anger, but they didn't dare come closer. When the minister pronounced them husband and wife, Gabriel took Anna's face in his hands. You are worthy, he said. You always were. Anna smiled through her tears. I know. Mama taught me. Spring came early that year. Anna planted flowers on Margaret's grave while Gabriel worked on mending the fence nearby. Scout lay in the grass, content. Anna knelt by the headstone and touched Margaret's name. I'm home now, Mama, she whispered. I found my family. Thank you for showing me I was always enough. She stood and walked back to Gabriel. He took her hand. They walked toward the house together, Scout trotting behind them. On the porch, Anna paused and looked back at the valley, at the ranch that had become her home, at the man who'd become her husband, at the dog who'd never stopped loving her. For the first time in her life, she wasn't worthless. She was chosen. She was loved. She was home. She was, finally, enough.